Okay, starting.
Hello everyone, Namaste. How is everybody doing on YouTube? We're just waiting for some people to arrive in a Zoom in the house with us. I hope you can see me and hear me on YouTube, everyone. And we're still waiting for some people to participate in the Zoom. And hello everyone, welcome to Zoom, welcome on YouTube. Hello, Yakov, Joy, Ida Picardi. There's some more people who is participating on the YouTube. If anybody on YouTube have any question, please do not hesitate to ask. Drop the chat message. Is anybody in the house have any question before we go ahead? Hello, Verena. I'm aware of some question from last week. There was a social media came through. Was I have experienced Kundalini energy before in the past several times. I have experienced many times possibly, but I'm talking about question. And but haven't experienced recently. What can I do to realize that again or release that energy again? So it could have been either of it. How the point one, there's many factors can happen in the process of Kundalini. If your Kundalini awakening was done with the vigorous practices or intense stimulation or something happened and shocking in your life. Kundalini not just only opens up because you're practicing some spiritual practices. In certain circumstances, It can also happen by its own account, but you may not be aware of it. So that is called accidental awakening of Kundalini, that sometimes leads to the shock to the mind. People do become mental, sometimes people lose their sense of awareness. You can call it having a little epiphany, having a short-term uh, uh, hallucination process in scientific language. But if the Kundalini was awakened through the practices and your nervous system was not ready to sustain it, either your physical body was not ready to sustain it, or there was a blockage in any chakras in the body, in any of the energetic centers. If the awakening of Kundalini was creating imbalance in your body will automatically reject it. It will go automatically down to it. As long as you are in touch with the body. Sometimes your body is not ready, body is coming down of it, but you continue forcing the practices on you. That's when you can also reach to the cloud 9 sometime. But in healthy circumstances, when you Kundalini awaken, it leaves certain residue in your unconscious, subconscious part of your awareness. You will still have a higher taste to your life. You'll always be very eager to have deeper understanding, deeper meaning, and your senses may not be satisfied very easily. So if you have experienced Kundalini, it's basically, it transcends your conscious mind to a completely different realm or different vibration, frequency, and your senses frequency changes as well. So if you have experienced one time, you know what taste is like. You already have tasted. Whenever it happens next time, it may not taste the same. You may also be experiencing the surge of Kundalini energy inside the body, but your mind is only stuck with one flavor that you have experienced before. So you may have experienced again after some point, but your mind only relate to the one experience. So if you want to experience again or realize again, I will recommend you to drop the past experience. First of all, clear your mind. Any memory that your mind may be holding, an expectation or a definition of what Kundalini experience is like, you can never have again experience unless your mind keep projecting the same experience over and over. If you had it one time and it dropped, to experience the Kundalini again, you must rise above the previous experience, remain open for any form of sensation that you can feel as a Kundalini. As long as you defining the awakening of Kundalini with the previous experience, that's what your mind knows of, that will be difficult till you let go the expectation and the definition what Kundalini is as per your previous experience. So, how to awaken it? how to stimulate it, how to harness the Kundalini. Sometimes Kundalini awakens, gives a surge of energy, but momentary. You experienced it and it goes down. Kundalini always awake. Remember that. Kundalini is never sleeping. If Kundalini is sleeping, you'll be dead. Remember that. If somebody tells you your Kundalini not awakened, your Kundalini is not working, let's awaken the Kundalini, I am pretty sure that you have certain level of desires. You have certain level of functionality in life. Reproductive organs are at least working. But your Kundalini awaken, but it's flowing in the wrong direction. Is a working in an awakened Kundalini aligned with tamasic nature of your existence. So, how below the belly button everybody is Kundalini awakened, remember that. Below the belly button, everybody is Kundalini awakened. In some yogic system, they say Kundalini at base chakra. And some practices say Kundalini start at the belly button. In Buddhism, and some sense it do makes a sense. Below the belly button, everybody is awake. Your desire, lust, greed, anger, jealousy, insecurity, you have all of them. And as long as you have all of them, your Kundalini is channeling still. Energy is still there. So, your second chakra, base chakra, again operate because of Kundalini. And you have the strongest force there. The rules to life, basically. Above the belly button, rest of them, you have a projection. You have no intellect, no intuition, you have no ability to speak. You project your voice, you find your voice amongst everybody, but you don't have the voice. Your voice is also borrowed. It doesn't belong to you, remember that. Your feelings are subject to change. You are not even in touch with your feelings. Your feelings are ruled by how other people are behaving around you. They are not yours. And they are like chameleon most of the time. Your willpower, your Ichha Shakti, your Sankalp Shakti, your self-promise, the willpower, the stamina, your solar plexus, self-worth, none of them is there. So all you have below the belly button, there is lots of energy, but above the belly button, there is no energy. It's just only a projection of energy or imitation of the energy is there. So when you're doing practices, there's many ways you can harness that energy. First of all, create a healthier relationship with the base chakra and second chakra, point one. As long as you feel insecure, ruled by lust, ruled by your suppression of reproductive energy, or excess engagement with the reproductive energy. Both of them can actually not let your energy flow. So healthier relationship with two chakras and awakening your belly button. The time you can awaken the belly button, your biggest hurdle you have, your belly button. Once energy passes your belly button, you can feel it. You will automatically start feeling sometime lots of changes happens in the life, the mind. Then you rise it. Either I do not recommend to harness the Kundalini energy upward with aggression. It is an energy you want to be loving to back to it. You want to use a natural process, spontaneous. You create circumstances so that energy can rise up. If you force that energy and you are not ready, I give you byproduct. Imagine you have a house and you're wiring in your house with capacity of 5 amp or 13 amp standard, and you decided to have a powerhouse connected directly without stabilizer or transformer supply to your house. What will happen to the wires and all the light things in your house? They will be fused and burned out. They will be completely destroyed. There are more causes to destroy your entire nervous system and your nadis in your body. So if you do awaken your Kundalini with the force, which is I see most of the time nowadays people actually doing, Kundalini is a Shakti inside you. Kundalini is a Shakti inside you. Power is in everyone. It's awake in everyone. It's not dead or dormant. It's awake. Unless you are totally dead, which is also a possibility. So, how to do it? There is one part, is Sri Vidya, is also very important part. And through the Prana Kriya Yoga, when we practice, they are all creating the ability for your body to harness the Kundalini energy in the right direction. And also the channel opens in the body as well to the Prana Kriya Yoga. I also teach the Maha Prana Kriya. There is one specific Kriya that also awakens the your only for Kundalini harnessing. There is Sri Vidya, which is also important. Lots of meditation practices we do, Atma Kriya. There are also Kriya meditation that is also awakens and channels, awakens your stagnant, whatever the blockages you have in the body to channel it. So the person who asked that question is here. I am sure that you already can feel the difference since you start practicing. You do get sometimes taste of little bliss. So don't try to be greedy by definition. Greed for good things or material things is the same. Let it happen naturally. Something happen authentically, naturally, spontaneous, that stay forever with you. I give you an example, you go to, we have a culture saying, before the sun comes, in summertime, everybody goes to the gym, pump the muscles, make look like beach bud, It's only for short time. And only for, just before you go on holiday, Michael. Once you have gone on holiday, come back, you don't really care about yoga, you don't care about the body, you just want to sit down on a couch, watch film and eat chips and get unhealthy again. Till next year, again summer season comes along, you want to look great. If that kind of energy, it doesn't stay with you. So I will recommend continuous, progressive, consistency in your practice and let the energy rise inside you naturally, spontaneous. And once that starts happening, you may not feel like the big surge of it, but you will become a part of it. Kundalini will become a part of your life. The progressive changes will happen without making dramatic change all at once in the life, but change will happen progressively in your thinking, in your behavior, in your senses, old in your life. So you already can feel the difference, which I have witnessed, and it already changing. So I will recommend to continue the path you are on. Don't look for shortcuts. If you look for, there many shortcuts there as well. You can have Kundalini awaken within 2 hours, no problem. But how long that will last with you? Maybe 2 minutes, maybe 2 days, maybe 2 weeks, and then gone. That means like the temporary. And somebody saying I think I already said that something can happen to the dramatic and traumatic circumstances can also awaken the Kundalini. Somebody saying that the mind happened through trauma. It brought me to the psychosis at first. My physical body was ruined at the times, but I could not walk, get out of the bed. It's been a journey. Lucky you are still alive, my dear. I'm very grateful for it. Sometime when the Kundalini awakens in dramatic, stressful, and trauma circumstances, it can absolutely destroy your entire physical nervous system as well as your bodies in the body. Basically, you sometimes can become a living vegetable, mentally or sometimes physically. So, very grateful that your body had a certain awareness. If you go in that state to see some doctor, they will say you are become a psychosis, you're having some hallucination problems. So it is very normal to have those experiences. Please do continue healing, and there will be a time it will all be over. I will recommend, if you have experienced it, breathe through your spine every day. Spend half hour to 45 minutes in Savasana. Do spinal breathing to clear and repair if there is any damage that been caused by the unexpected rise of Kundalini. Do spinal breathing in Savasana and give the healing energy to your whole body. And always remain calm and positive during the practice. Not stressing yourself or trying to check the box, okay, I have done 30 minutes, job done. So that I will recommend to continue healing the process. There was another question from how can we see more clearly beside the continuous practice of meditation, and how can we understand if what we think it is true, it is really true. I can guarantee you, my dear, what you think is not true. Because your thinking is changeable. As long as there changes, that cannot be truth. That is one type of truth, but that's not the real truth. So in meditation, whatever you are thinking, projecting, accumulating, stimulating, and seeing, that is all not truth. That is a truth, but not the truth. That is the truth of your version. That is your version of the truth, but not the truth. So, in one sense, it is a truth for you, but may not be the truth for me. A truth I'm talking about, not the absolute truth. Your Brahman, your Brahma inside you, your Atman inside you, in everyone, in absolute purity. In absolute purity, that is the truth. But everything around decorated, it becomes a truth of the person who experiencing it. And then it said, but I'm experiencing that Atman and the Brahm. I'm pretty sure if you were, you would not be asking that question. So, how can we see more clearly beside the meditation? Because you are a bit more closer to yourself or your higher self. There's maybe little smoke. You are far away, you can't see it, but when you come close to it, putting even the black tinted glass, if you put your eyes right next to it, try to look into it, you can little bit have some sense of it. You can see it because you're putting effort to look into it. But if you are further away, like when you are not meditating, you can't see your inner self, your higher self. Your higher self is covered with all the karmas, which is, I give an example of tinted black glass. But when you take your awareness right next to the glass and try to look hard into it, what you're doing during the meditation, you get a little glimpse of yourself. You get a little taste of yourself. You get to have a little sense there's something more than this, what is behind this glass. You can see a bit more clarity. You can get a bit more clear to yourself. So have a little reflection in your awareness. You start observing your thinking, you start observing your mind, you start observing what is processing through your senses. Majority of the time, we are not actually even aware what actually we are saying, what we are talking, what we are doing. I will recommend one thing to everyone. Every time you have to open the mouth to say something, hold it, rethink, and say, do you really need to say that what you're about to say? And I guarantee you, 95% of the time, 95, even I can say 98% of the time, your conversations are garbage. Whatever comes out of mouth is total garbage. It's absolutely zero need for it in your life. But you do. And you believe that you're doing yourself a favor. So I can tell you what you need to do, talk less. Cut down 95% conversation, at least 50% if you can. Listen more, talk less. One principle apply. You find out, you get to see more and more of yourself. So sometime, I don't think any of you have been into the Vipassana practice with me. I think the one person I know who's been there, you should ask them, they look for a reason. Can I talk even for 5 minutes? Even you tell them, if there's a death circumstances, only that situation you should talk. Otherwise, they may enjoy the life. You always want, oh, I want a bit quiet. I want a bit quiet. When you get quiet, you don't want any more quiet. You want a conversation. And it's not only physically being quiet. Amount of information that processes through your brain. Amount of information, you see something, it has absolutely no relationship to you. But you will analyze it, assess it, and try to see it if it can fit in your life, not fit in the life, despite you may never have it, never need it. Like sometime when you go, how many of you go for window shopping? when you're walking down the high street. You don't need it. It's absolutely an accumulation of useless information and having a conversation with yourself. And you get distracted, end up having accident. Which I know most people when they're driving a car, they're looking around and sometimes do have accidents. It's absolutely not needed. Because your brain is busy, your mind is busy. You are not have a the Icha Sakti, we call it in a Sanskrit. Icha is something you want to do it. Your willpower, your assertiveness, how assertive you are, how focused you are, how determined you are. If those things are lacking, despite you practice yoga every day, your productivity level will be weak. I will be poor. Because there is not enough assertiveness inside, there is not enough drive inside you to maintain your awareness to your sadhana and to yourself. You are not important for yourself. As long as you remain the last in the bottom of the list, your awareness, there will always be an issue. Make sure you become the prime focus for yourself. Now becomes a subject you telling me to be selfish. My selfishness is come from very high place. Where I'm talking about that focus means everything you do, it should be the interest of yourself, the how is going to affect me. Spiritually, mentally, how is going to affect my senses. If you bring that awareness, I guarantee you will cut down 80 to 90% of your actions that are not needed in your life. And that will become a first foundation for your good health, mental as well as physical. Never mind spiritual. That is the next step. So, do you get the clarity question? You get to see clarity because when you are meditating, your mind becomes only interested in you, not in everything else. You get to see clear. When your mind is interested in hundreds or millions of other things, there is no space for you. How can you get to see clarity? Or your mind can't see it, yourself can see the clarity. Your mind is busy in millions of things, not connected with yourself, you can't see the clarity. When your mind comes in contact with your higher self, you can have the clarity. You can see the clarity. You will bring the clarity to your life. As long as the mind is indulged in millions of other things, no connection to yourself, there will always be a little issue. There is a next question which is slightly tricky, might take a bit more time. I will read through it first. What can you do when a friend, family member, or student is actively demanding your support, attention and energy, and your relationship almost seems to depend on what you can give it to them or what you can provide them. It's very selfish relationship. It is very selfish relationship. Now there is one part is, if it is a student, obviously it should be selfish. Students should be selfish to the teacher. What I can learn from a teacher. That's acceptable enough. In a friendship and family member, similarly same. Remember, whoever asked this question, they are doing the best of their ability. They are being connected with themselves. Everybody is selfish, my dear. what certain level, because they are operating to the lower chakra energy. They are operating only below the belly button, tamasic nature. A student is also a tamasic nature, progress to become a sattvic, in process to become a rasic or sattvic. So when you are operating from your tamasic nature, you are very selfish. Only interest of yourself. Even when you do give them a lot of energy and attention, it never seems enough, and they seem to always want and expect more. Well, people will always do because you are giving. As long as you give, people will say, okay, I can have some bit more. Because they can see you have a possibility. Now we have two learning from here. First of all, you have abundance. You accept that is a good quality. That you have something that people want from you. So appreciate it, have a gratitude for it. Have a gratitude that I am grateful enough that I can give it to people, and people are looking up to me so I can give it to them. I am in the position to help somebody, I am in the position to give. That is a very reasonable information that one person should appreciate that. I'm pretty sure they will not go and ask somebody else because they know they don't have it. But you do. So grateful for it. Have a gratitude to the life, gratitude to your existence that you are in the position in your life that actually you can offer, you can give. You have that energy or skill or capacity to give. How many people give? I'm pretty sure the beggar can't give to another beggar because they don't have it themselves. If I am hungry, my plate is empty, you come to ask me for food, what will I give it to you? I will show you my empty plate. You will walk away disappointed. If my plate is full and you come to me asking if you are hungry, oh, I'm pretty sure I have plenty. I will give it to you as much as you need. So I can see, oh, these people are very selfish, never have enough, constantly expecting, or I can be grateful for the vibration, the energy, or my ability that I am in the position I can give. I can be grateful for it. That I can be a vehicle to bring peace to somebody's life. I can be a vehicle to bring a pleasure of the nourishment of the mental or the whatever economical or the social or the support they require, whichever way it is. Sometimes people do abuse it. Remember that as well. People sometimes do abuse it. As long as you are comfortable, as long as it coming from place of love, as long as it coming from place of compassion, not from obligation. When it becomes obligation, it starts hurting you because you no longer operating from place of love or place of compassion. I will recommend it, immediately break it, walk away. So don't do it, please. You make your own choice. I'm just giving my viewpoint of it. If I was in that situation, that's what I will do. Further, it also appears sometimes the people in the pattern are not using the energy and support they get to move forward and transform their situation, but they seem to just consume it. I think we all heard the story of I run a charity in India, also in the UK. I'm part of it. I don't really run it. I'm part of it. I'm grateful for the many of my students to their help and visitors to the Yogi Villa in India who actually support eagerly quite a lot of it. Most of it actually, not a little bit of it. But we have a policy that we don't really give handouts. We have absolutely strict discipline, no handouts. If somebody is hungry, we give them a food to eat. That is the basic necessity. But economical handout is not there. But most charities do, they give out, even people try to give them a money, I tell them, please don't give money. Ask them what they need, try to give them that object. And even we built, we could have given money to people in house. We built like 4, 5 houses to the people, poor people in the village, who were living in a thatch hut. We built a house for them to live in. We didn't give them money. We actually built the house. So they can't consume the money, but they can get benefit what actually they need. So what you can do, educate them, help them, so they don't consume what you give them. If they are not, just support them progressively so they can move forward to grow and transform their understanding. Education is required in that sense. Give them an education. Doesn't matter, sometimes you can be very bright, educated, but not really educated. So whoever you try to help them in such way is give them a constructive message. Don't become yourself a crutches for somebody, but give them a hand to get up. Don't carry them. Hold the finger to walk. Bring that relationship. There is something in yourself to improve that. Don't become a crutch. Don't give them a piggyback. Make them walk on their leg unless they are really, really incapable. Which I am not sure. If they are capable of asking, I am pretty sure they are not incapable. How do you protect yourself so you don't end up giving them all you have? First answer, simple, say no. But how can I give you advice? Because I never say no. So I will not recommend you that. I know my famous word is yes. I don't really say no to pretty much anything in life. So always remain in a state of yes to do. And just try to find a way to figure it out. So if you are not in a position, be honest with yourself. Point 1. You need to be honest with yourself. Are you doing it with place of love or are you doing it with place of obligation? Obligation coming out of a place of insecurity or fear because you don't want to lose them, but you don't really love them. In that case, you should not do it. If you love them and it is your duty and responsibility, you continue to do so, as long as you find a gratitude in doing it. How to protect yourself? Every day meditate and develop a gratitude. What you have, what you're doing, is to be done out of compassion. At least you should not build a resentment. If you cannot stop doing it, don't build a resentment towards it. Second part, how can you help them let go of this pattern to establish a healthier relationship? I give you an example here. To let go the pattern of asking or constantly dependent to build a healthier relationship. I remember sometime you cannot. Sometimes you just need to, over the time they learn, You cannot push them into that direction. But you can remember, it's not something, if they, if you can educate them, make them see the difference. Every time you help them, you set a standard. You ask them. You also can ask them with condition. You can implement it with the condition. Make them see the difference before and after, so they can see the progressive approach. Third part, sometimes simply just let them bit of a hard way of learning. Hard way of learning. Don't help them if they are not ready to help themselves. That is again your call. Basically, again, it is your call to do it. Patterns are always wrong. Give them yoga, that will change their pattern. Give them meditation, that will change the pattern. If you keep giving them, but not giving them a something healthier to connect with, they are not going to change. I remember somebody was interviewing me, they asked me, if you ask every person, they said, oh, I will remove this from my life, remove this from my life, remove this from. They always have a somehow a religious or the social days, some thing they always want to take away from you because they think that's wrong with you. I don't really think you should not tell them not to do it. Tell them you should do that as well. You can't tell them, please not have this unhealthy pattern. Tell them you can have the pattern you have, please can you also do a bit of yoga every day? Make it conditional. Or maybe do the meditation every day as well. So you don't take them away their negative behavior or the stuck pattern behavior, you bring something positive into their life. They're already suffering, you take away whatever their identity is, they are going to retaliate. They are going to retaliate. So you don't want them to retaliate, you bring something that you have what you have, but I like to give you something more too. Would you be happy? I'm pretty sure a greedy person will be very happy. And we are all greedy for growth, for transformation. Otherwise, we will not meditate to a certain extent. Because I like to get greater connection to myself, I meditate. You can classify that as a greed or classify that as a conscious choice. So, give them something positive as well, same time whenever you help them. Make them practice yoga. If they don't want to practice with you, send it to watch&nv. There's free yoga available on YouTube. There's plenty of videos I have. Make them do that as well. So, there is always something they can practice. But make sure only way you can change their pattern, not by talking, by action, which is a transformation of their tamasic energy. Make them practice yoga, make them practice meditation, and they will grow. Okay? So on that note, I think I might have taken more time from you than I supposed to. But stories of how to change the pattern. Everybody, you change yourself. I change your pattern. We remember when he came first time to the first weekend of TTC? I will not disclose the name, don't worry. When he came first time to the first weekend of TTC, you were crying. Second weekend, you were not very happy with myself. Because I made you do something you don't want to do. It was not for me. It is for your growth. If you're going to be a teacher, you should not be scared to stand in front of your colleagues to speak about it. But there was a loss of discomfort inside. So I say you do it slowly, slowly. I could talk about it, but not going to happen. So you make some time in the harsh decision in interest of other people, but you still doing it from place of compassion, not from place of punishment. Do you understand? You can still have a harsh action towards somebody from place of compassion, not from place of punishment. That is depend what is your intention behind, what is the force behind you leading you to do that action. Like sometimes I teach meditation, I tell people stay still, but you are having the best desire to itch your ear. I again reinsist, stay still, don't move. But they said, he's very hard and very harsh, not kind enough. Don't let me enjoy the meditation. I was having the best time. But that's it. My action, what I say, is from place of compassion, place of love for transformation, not to give them a punishment. Do you understand? Sometimes when you're in Savasana, you just having the music going in the background, you are having a dance in Savasana. I have seen people they having dance and meditation. So I go along, they literally go like this. Because the music playing next door in yoga class, but I never understood how could you have a meditation or yoga class or reggae music. So they still do it. I go along, sometimes I literally hold their head still. See how can you move? They still try to do it, but I go a bit more harder, hold their head still. And they get a headache afterward. So it's still again place of compassion, not from place of punishment. May appear to be a very harsh, but it's done with love. So whatever you do, my dear, do it from place of love, place of compassion, not punishment. Okay? That's how you actually can change the patterns. On that note, anybody else have any questions? Thank you for today. I hope you enjoyed our discussion. And that will be left on YouTube. You can share it with your friends and family and anybody who you think may benefit. Remember this problem of giving and people taking from you and you don't know how to say no is everybody's problem. You will have encountered that problem somewhere in your life and still dealing with it. So everybody can learn from it. Okay? Thank you. Thank you everybody on YouTube.